Welcome to this explainer. I'm really excited to get into today's topic because we're looking at a complete, fundamental rewiring of how a major global power prepares for conflict. We're going to uncover exactly how India is undergoing this massive military transformation. Because let's face the undeniable truth about modern warfare, it absolutely does not give you time to adapt. You have to be comprehensively ready before the first move is even made. Today, we're unpacking this huge shift from the perspective of a senior defense analyst, looking at how military capability isn't just being added to, it's being entirely reimagined. So let's dive right in by confronting a pretty harsh new reality. What happens when the threat is above you rather than in front of you? I mean, for decades, military strategy was mostly horizontal, right? You worried about what was directly across the battlefield from your troops. But today, with drones, loitering munitions, and precision strikes, the battlefield has completely changed. The threat is fully three-dimensional now, and defending against that, it requires an entirely new playbook. To really grasp this transformation, we're going to use this roadmap. We'll start at the tactical level with air defense, move up to the industrial level for ground armor, escalate to the strategic level for nuclear deterrence, and finally, zoom out to the geopolitical level to look at naval geography. But before we even hit the battlefield, we have to talk about the foundational shifts happening right now behind the scenes. For instance, Adani Defense recently validated new vertical takeoff kamikaze drones for high-altitude terrain. Out at sea, new INS stealth frigates are rapidly extending India's blue water reach. But honestly, perhaps the most crucial update is the massive new 3,936 crore rupee semiconductor project in Gujarat. This is all about securing India's long-term military supply chains, because you just can't fight a modern high-tech war if your microchips are delayed by regional competitors. Okay, let's start with Section 1, the tactical level, focusing on mobile air defense. Let's look at the situation on the ground. The rise of low-cost drone swarms targeting moving armored formations has exposed a massive vulnerability in traditional setups. Historically, air defense was basically static. You protected a fixed base or maybe a city. But an advancing column moving without real-time cover, that's a sitting duck. So India is shifting gears, moving to procure 83 units of the new Cadet system. This is a live, mobile, armored network that actually travels continuously alongside mechanized forces. It provides an unbroken umbrella of protection, even in super extreme terrains like Ladakh. And this isn't just about rolling out new hardware. It represents a profound doctrinal shift toward network-centric warfare. The Cadet system integrates directly with the new Akashtir command and control network. It's a seamless loop. Sensors detect multiple threats, the systems fuse that data to decide threat priority based on speed and trajectory, and then shooters instantly engage. It completely closes that unified loop and drastically shortens the military decision-making cycle. And in modern combat, milliseconds literally mean the difference between mission success and failure. Moving on to Section 2, the industrial level, where everything is built for speed. We're shifting our focus here from the battlefield straight to the factory floor. Because today, ensuring your weapons survive dictates that you have to build them incredibly fast. 3 years. That is the unprecedented amount of time it took to take the Vikram VT21 combat vehicle from a mere concept on paper to a fully realized prototype. Designed to replace the aging BMP-2 fleet, this vehicle brings modular armor, amphibious capabilities, and high mobility. It's a massive boost to the survivability of mechanized infantry forces. Now, the real game changer here is the development model itself. Traditionally, India relied heavily on defense public sector units, and while they're capable, they often face decades-long development cycles and serious bureaucratic bottlenecks. For the Vikram VT21, the government's DRDO partnered directly with private industry heavyweights like Tata and Bharat Forge. That move completely eliminated those old bottlenecks, streamlined the supply chains, and delivered a combat-ready platform at record speed. And you have to consider the actual composition of this vehicle. Right now, it's sitting at 65% domestic share, but the explicit goal is to push that to 90%. This is hard proof that the Nicobar Bharat, or self-reliant India model, is actually working. Plus, as this domestic industrial ecosystem scales up, India isn't just looking to equip its own army faster. They are positioning themselves to generate significant global defense export revenue by supplying platforms exactly like this one to other countries. Now, let's escalate to Section 3, the strategic level, and talk about credible deterrence. This brings us into the realm of the ICBM. Looking back at the historical context, the earlier Agni-1 through 5 series successfully established India's baseline deterrence. But the new Agni-6, which is currently awaiting final political clearance, is a total generational leap. It massively extends India's strategic reach to anywhere between 10 and 12,000 kilometers. It uses highly mobile road and rail deployment to guarantee it can survive a first strike. But the biggest difference? That's in its payload. To truly grasp why the Agni-6 fundamentally strengthens Indian defense, we have to talk about MIRV technology. MIRV transforms a single missile launch into multiple, simultaneous strategic threats. So instead of just one warhead, the Agni-6 can deploy a swarm of them. Each one can strike a totally different target, or they can work together to completely saturate and overwhelm even the most advanced enemy interception grids. Because, as our source material perfectly captures, weapons like the Agni-6 aren't actually about fighting wars, they are about preventing them. This is the absolute core philosophy of assured retaliation. Deterrence works purely on perception. If an adversary believes, without a doubt, that India possesses an unstoppable, surviving second strike capability, which the highly mobile, MIRV-equipped Agni-6 clearly provides, then the likelihood of a conflict ever starting drops to near zero. Finally, let's pan out to Section 4, the geopolitical level, exploring Nicobar's maritime chokehold. Zooming all the way out to the Indo-Pacific theater, it's fascinating to see how pure physical geography essentially becomes a strategic weapon. An unbelievable 60% of global maritime trade passes right through the very narrow Malacca Strait. And even more critically, the vast bulk of China's energy imports flow right through this exact corridor. Because they sit directly astride this corridor, the Andaman and Nicobar Islands give India an unmatched forward presence. They're often called an unsinkable aircraft carrier. These islands allow India to simply exist there and maintain total domain awareness. This perfectly exploits what strategists call China's Malacca dilemma. It effectively gives India a chokehold option, the ability to threaten supply chain destabilization and apply massive strategic pressure without ever needing to fire a single shot. But as our sources point out, simply possessing strategic geography is just step one. To actually operationalize it and prevent Nicobar from becoming a missed opportunity, India has to take aggressive action. They need to bridge local infrastructure gaps, carefully manage deep environmental sensitivities in the area, and ensure they sustain long-term military investments in the region. So, bringing this all together, from the agile, mobile air grids of Cadet to the unprecedented private sector speed of the Vikram VT21, all the way up to the MIRV deterrence of the Agni-6, and out to the naval choke points of Nicobar, we're seeing India decisively transform into a highly agile, self-reliant power that is integrating its capabilities across every single sector. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer. We've seen how everything from domestic microchips to intercontinental ballistic missiles are completely reshaping a nation's defense strategy. I want to leave you with one final thought to chew on. In an era where ultimate victory demands absolute microsecond readiness, is the true triumph found in fighting the battle or in ensuring it never even starts? Until next time, keep learning and stay curious.